The news, the narrative, and everything else in the market is slowly becoming bullish, extremely bullish when dollar is getting rejected. But this is what you're watching in XRP. The RSI tried to get back above the trend line but got rejected. Is that a red flag? Is that a danger sign for the XRP family? We're going to discuss through that and break this down so we understand, yeah, the market is showing you all these opportunity and you are not going to jump in and out without knowing what the hell is happening with all these other assets. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Yes, crypto market is highly volatile. Bitcoin just did another 5% day, and some of these altcoins are following it. Cardano is smashing through that. It's 20% up, and it's in the large cap list, right? So you're watching ING Cardano doing extremely well in the first 100. And then if you actually look at, there are some like a wax, HNT doing fine. But what's really happening in them? 23rd October, I gave this to you guys saying, watch this. This is the opportunity which is playing out. Now, where are we right now, right? 0.31. What's the target? 0.34. So we're getting so close to that target. Yes, it was a little bit slower compared to other assets. When you're looking at Cardano, you're like, okay, it's already up 80% for the month. We had our call all the way from here, 0.35. Right now, the price is somewhat close to 0.67. So you're already kind of 100% up. We had all these targets in place and it's going through them. If you actually break these down and look at these, say AKT, that's another one which is doing really good, 123% for the month. We had our calls here. So we are already 100% up in that, right? The current price is 2.13 and the call came in here at 1.09. You haven't reached your second target here, but you're getting closer to that. But you do understand that the market is showing you enormous amounts of opportunity. So if you are in this, you are like, okay, if you know these calls, why can't you trade them yourselves? I'm seeing some of the comments. Why are you giving this to others? And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing those. This is just my trading bag in the last few months. So if you are looking at these, we have multiple trades going on, right? There's a lot of trades. There were like, this was just like 19 trades, which are still active, which are still growing. Some of them were 50% back then and right now close to 100%. So we are doing all this and giving it to 836 members and growing because they see value in it. Now, if you want to join the family, the SI family, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. Now, without much of a delay, let's actually look at XRP. I would argue, like this is something, if we don't dig in deep, it can be perceived as a red flag. Let me start by saying this. I don't think it is a red flag. You're trying to get back in, you're getting rejected the first time. This is what's happening. So if you zoom in on the last time, we are asking that question like, okay, do we have any possibility of a rejection at the first attempt? Yeah. Last time also, this was the case. Initially, you went back down, you tried to get back in, but got rejected. Then you had to make another base and then break back in. Next time, when that broke lower, same story. You tried first, you got rejected. The second time, you broke back in. So what are we doing now? The first attempt here, we failed miserably. Second attempt, we got back, but again, we could not hold on to that. We got rejected. Now we are trying to get back in and again we are getting rejected. So if we are looking at the history, we are like, okay, this is somewhat like what we expected it to be. So it's not a bad story. This is that trend line. It's not a bad thing we are watching. So depending on how you are looking at this, I would say, yeah, it's most likely this same phase. So that phase and the top, the next big run up, was like 30 days difference. So I'm like, we are mid December. So mid Jan, late Jan, we are going to most likely see something happening in XRP. But yes, for sure, you'll have to look at Bitcoin and ask the question, what the hell are we really looking at? Because say, if you actually look at the market, there is a lot of different information in the market which shows you things are changing and things are changing pretty quickly, which means investors are going to flock into the market. BlackRock is giving this idea that it's a green light for the investors. So if they are talking about rate cuts, yes, it is. It's a green signal for investors. And I truly believe investors are going to actually flock into these assets because they know the value. If they don't, they will miss it out. Now, recently, when the price was actually going down like this, people were like, okay, panicking 2 days back. And I told you guys, okay, watch this, guys. This is the measured move of the double top. We are already completing that. It's not a bad thing, which means there is a big possibility that we may do this. Yes, it is a short-term chart, but there was a probability that the price is going to do something like this. We followed it up. The price almost did something like that. And what ended up happening is this. You had the double bottom. This was your measured move. You did that. Now, what's the problem there? Yeah, that's a micro move. We got it correct. Great. But what's next? That's the next big question. RSI broke higher. MACD broke higher. That's good. The volume is in positive side. But the MACD is not yet in this territory, which is the positive zone. So I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think RSI is going to come back to retest this range and then bounce off, which would give the price two leg. One, either it come back down here, say 41, 4800, and then go up, or there is going to be another possibility here, which would be like this. Now that's a little bit stronger, 42,000. Instead of coming down to 41 or just close to that, price may actually come down to 42 and then bounce off. We'll have to see how the retest on the RSI plays out and when MACD enters the positive territory, this zone. Below here, it's negative, above it's positive. You want to see that in the positive territory. Now, all of this is short-term scenario. What we discussed here in XRP is a macro. So you want to know macro, or you should look at the macro before you actually decide anything on the micro. This is a weekly chart. Whether you're bullish on this asset or not, whether you're bullish on this market or not, you will agree that this is something which is trending higher. There is no one going to go against it. If you do, the market is going to take its turn. Because you always, all the time know this. You try to cross to the downside first time, you bounce. You try to cross to the downside next, you bounce. It's the third time it crossed back down. Even on the retracement levels, the first attempt was failed, you went up. Here you haven't even started that first attempt. Think about that for a minute, guys. First time, you got rejected. Second, you got rejected. Third, you got rejected. Fourth time, you crossed lower, but it did not go down to negative territory. So the price didn't go to negative. It consolidated. Now you're in the positive zone. You haven't even tried to cross to the downside. That's something serious. When that next opening of that mouth comes in, you're going to see an expansion. We are waiting to see when that comes in and how that would look like. But remember, on a monthly, this is what you're talking about. When we had this monthly candle closing here, October, I told you guys, watch. This is going to be a healthy market which is going to push higher, higher, higher. And back then we were at 33,000 and I was saying, we are going to reach 45,000 before you know it. And we did. Now, why is that? Now, I'm going to say something else. Maybe, again, I'm going to be absolutely wrong on this. But I'll explain why I think so. I would highly look at this and say, MACD shows me it's in the positive zone. It's crossing to the upside. The volume is increasing, and that's a stable move. That's a big move. RSI on the monthly is showing you it's now at 63, close to that. When you cross above 70, it's a parabolic time. That's when the price go nuts on this horizon. So what we have seen now, the movement from 25 to 45 would look like a small move. Basically, on a monthly, you'll actually see big candles. Say, for example, here you're watching a monthly candle starting at 32, going all the way up to 58. That's a $26,000 move in a month. That's a big candle. That's a big candle. You have to understand that. We will see $10,000 monthly candles for sure, but watching something like this, a 20, 25, $30,000 move, that's going to kind of show you, okay, we are reaching a top. So unless that's coming in, we are still somewhere here. We don't know where exactly, but as of now, you are not anywhere near your roof. When you do roof, you'll see this. You'll see this, a reversal signal on a monthly. You'll need extreme amount of patience and discipline to follow this, but we are nowhere near that. You will see the same pattern everywhere. You will see the same pattern everywhere. Each and every time you see this. So why go against it? Don't do that. Rather, use this opportunity, because when you see this kind of move in the side of Bitcoin, you should actually ask, what kind of opportunity do you have? That's where you go onto the altcoin market and look at this and say like, whoa, 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 that's something big about to enter into this market. Again, maybe I'm wrong. But remember here I was saying, guys, we're going to see some flush to the downside. Whales are about to bluff. It came down. And here I told you in August, but it started in October, November. But that's still close to it, right? We're going to go back up, and we are back up above 21-day moving average on a monthly chart. That's a reversal signal for itself. Look at the price structure. You clearly see this pattern, don't you? You clearly see this pattern, don't you? You actually see this. But people still doubt. Can we reach an all-time high this time? Or it's just a retracement and it's going to go back down? Maybe that's your belief system. But that's not what the market is showing you. The market is showing you a different phase which is happening just in front of your eyes. When that bullish signal enters here, now you're like, okay, the market is about to explode. How high? How much? Different people will give you different idea for sure. But I would argue, let's look at the market. Let's ask the market, like, what are you looking at? It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the market. So if that's the case, this is what we are looking at. General argument, if this is true, you are going to see something like this. Maybe not as exact movement as it is, but maybe something like this, which is much more volatile. Fine, I don't care about volatility. But what I do care here at this point is that if this is the upside which the market is showing me, then, I don't want to miss it. Maybe that's a move in the market showing you it's going to do an average of 10x. This is the most conservative outlook. This is all excluding Ether. Now, if you want more perfection, you want to look at the entire crypto market, or say including Ether in the altcoins, you would actually go back all the way down here, and you want to actually make the argument like, okay, let's look at this and say, what are we really doing? This is a monthly. If you include volatility on a weekly, this is what you're looking at. So you would actually argue we are doing something like this. This is a trend line which we can kind of plot. So if you are conservative, super conservative, you will plot this like this. This is your range. Now, this change in the market is coming when you are including Ether. So that's where my calls on Ether makes a lot of sense. You guys should understand that. Now, what is this chart saying? If you want to actually reach a top to retest this and get rejected, that's up to 18 to 20x move in the average altcoin market. So some of these coins are going to do 200x, some of them are going to do 20x, some of them 10x for sure. Agreed. But the difference you are watching here is huge. Yes, for sure, you can be conservative. You can plot this and say, I'm going to take my profit somewhat like this range. Great. It's your choice. No one is going against it. But understand, when you look at the total crypto market, it gives you a lot of ideas. That kind of opens up your horizon of thinking about how this market is going to perform. And that's where I would argue, yes, the market is not constant. Yes, for sure. We all understand the fact that the market is giving you a lot of different things which we have to maneuver through. If you have read the Howard Marks book, The Most Important Thing, you'll know this. Market is not easy. There is a big difference in what I'm showing here and what I will show you next. And if you understand the difference between these two, I believe you're going to be a successful investor in the crypto market. This is your roof. Whether we agree on this, whether we believe this or not, this is something which we can see. Now, when you look at the Bitcoin chart, you will say, okay, that kind of makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, right? So this is the total crypto market at a time when the crypto market is 50% Bitcoin, right? So it's heavily biased by Bitcoin. So you go look at the all-time index of Bitcoin and you get to see this. You're like, whoa, that makes a lot of sense. You're going back all the way to 2009, 2010, and you're plotting this and you're like, whoa, that makes a lot of sense. So that means this time around, Bitcoin may not actually perform like a lot of people are arguing. Rather, the altcoin market, where institutions are not that heavy on, is going to pop through the roof. The other area, they don't want you to be rich. And that is where the question comes in about XRP. What are we really doing? Like, do we have a long-term view which is now valid? Right? You're going back all the way to 2013, 2014, using the trend line, using the support, and it kind of shows you something like this. I'm like, okay, if that's true, going back like 10 years, why should I go against it, right? This is something I would personally look at and say, okay, I wouldn't neglect this. This was a resistance. Agreed. That turned into a support. Agreed. That turned into a support and then a resistance and then again a resistance. If that's true, I would say, okay, I want to be super conservative on this particular asset. And I'm saying I want to take profit in this as a conservative investor. Great. Where the hell are we right now? 0.6, 0.62 to be precise. You're looking for a 30x from there. That's not small. That's not small. And believe me, we are not actually projecting the hype territory. We are not projecting even the standard deviation here. If you really want to do that, you use this and see, okay, this is the standard deviation 1. And this is that extreme wild standard deviation which we went up last time. We don't have any idea whether we are going to do that or not. But this one shows you 70x and this one shows you all the way like 400x. If you are a conservative investor, you're looking at this and saying like, that's a 30x, I'll take that. Because if your average is somewhat like this, you're making a 60, 70x in the XRP. What does that mean? Put that in the price action. You come here, you just take that. It's so easy. You don't have to go nuts. You just put this up. And you want to look at this and ask the question like, okay, what am I really looking at? If that's a 30x from the current price, I'm talking about an $18 to $19 per XRP. Is that small? I don't think so. So if the market gives you an idea about what's happening, you should consider that. Because if the macro is aligning like this, That's something you should take care of. You are going to take profits. You're going to take profits very soon than you think. But if you're not prepared, it's going to be a big trouble. That's one of the reasons why we go through a lot of this and give you guys the exact idea in all the one-on-one sessions. People are really happy that we are doing this. But understand this. On the other end, as a YouTuber, as a host of these groups, I get to see a lot of new people. I get to see how the market is evolving, the last cycle, this cycle. And based on that, I can say something big is coming. Last time, it started just like this. And we are already in it. We are already watching, say, the AI is 10, 15x up. Last time, AI completed wave 2. XRP, XLM, the payments token started bursting. In 2.5 months, we did that one up, which means we don't have a long time here, maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months. So during that time, if you are willing to look at the SI family, to take advantage of all these calls to make your portfolio the best possible ROI, you can join the SI family. So guys, if you haven't smashed that like button yet, I request you, please do smash that like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.